Welcome, Yujay. How are you today?
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's great to see you again.
Yeah, it's great to have you. I think this is one of the most interesting sessions I had this week, simply because it is relevant to our developer experience, and I'm looking forward to it. So, but perhaps before we dive in this topic, maybe you give us a little bit of introduction about yourself. Where are you based? What do you do at Hazelcast?
Yeah. I live in Gaziantep, Turkey, and I'm the tech lead for the Hazelcast CLC project. Hazelcast CLC is a command line tool that enables developers to use Hazelcast data structures, run SQL queries, scaffold projects, and more. Hopefully, I can show some of its capabilities in this session.
Yeah, great. I think this is really important because it makes developer lives so much easier actually when working with Hazelcast. So perhaps we can get going. So feel free to share your screen or slides if you want.
Yeah, okay. Let me share it. Okay. So like I said, CLC is a command line tool. If you are familiar with command line tools, they have some advantages over like GUI tools. They are composable. You can get its output and feed it to other commands. This is very powerful. You can create some powerful commands with it. It's repeatable. So if you have some of these commands in a script, you can run it and you will get the same results. And it's available. You don't need to install some window manager extra on your server. You can just SSH to your server, for example, and access it. CLC also it helps in this as a CLI tool. It's very helpful. It also has like things like scripting, and it supports timeouts. You can run SQL queries on it, etc. And our GitHub repository is here, github.com Hazelcast command line client. There are some information there. Currently, CLC is closed source, but you are able to download the releases here in the releases page. But we provide an install script for macOS and Linux. You can directly use it to install it. For Windows, we provide an installer. If you, of course, you can download yourself manually from the releases page. So let me just refresh this page. Okay. So I will just show how would you install it. So this command installs the GA version, like stable version of CLC. Okay, and if you want to try the latest beta or preview, you can use this command. I will use this one for now. You can find our documentation on this address. So yes, this is our project home, and this is where our documentation hosted. You can see lots of information about the project, how to install it, how to use it. We have tutorials and several guides about features of CLC, and then we have the reference for all its commands, what environment variables it has, keyboard shortcuts, etc. Okay, CLC is installed. I installed latest preview. So what I can do is I can get help about CLC with -- help. So these are the commands we support. For example, let me, in this setup, I have a local server running. I just run a like Docker image container of Hazelcast. Let's first try to connect to this cluster. So in order to do that, I will add a configuration. I can do that with config command, and let's get the help for it. You can see it adds a config, the add command, config add command adds a configuration. So I will add a configuration named local, and the cluster address is localhost and port is 5701. For local addresses, I don't need to specify the address and the host. If I run this one, then I create configuration. Then I can list my configurations. I have one for local and one for production. The importance of these configurations is I can use any of them to run my commands. For example, let me try to set a key, an entry on my default map. So let's say key 1, value 1. Okay, map set. Of course, I had to write map set. Yes, I set the key 1, value 1 to default map. I can list the objects in my cluster. So I created this default map, as you see. I can get a list of entries. Yes, key 1, value 1. And CLC is very useful when you want to diagnose these type of problems. You know, Hazelcast supports quite a few serialization methods and different data types. I can show the types of the keys and values. The show type command, as you see, these are strings. CLC has a home directory. Let me briefly talk about it. When you write CLC home, it returns your CLC home directory. So I can go to that directory using this command. It's cd, and then I can check out what's in this directory. So configurations are stored here, like the local configuration I just created. I can check it out. I can check out what's in that configuration. For example, yeah, it uses defaults, so there is nothing in it. Let me show my. There is also CLC keeps a log for everything. You can see it in the logs directory. You see, it creates one log file for each day. I can just check what's there in the log. I can also change the target of the logs. So if you don't specify anything, it will go to this logs directory. But what I can do is change the path. For example, if I use standard error, then it would print those logs to standard error, as you see. And I can change the level of the log. For example, I want to show the debug logs. You don't have to specify the configuration always. If you have a single configuration, then CLC just uses it. But if you have more than one configuration, and if you don't specify it, CLC will just ask first. For example, I can choose between local and prod. Okay, one very useful command is the completion command. It enables code completion in Bash, Z shell, Fish, or PowerShell. So, in order to get how to use it, in order to learn how to use it, I can just run the help command. So we support these shells. I use Bash, so I will just write shells complete Bash help, and it shows how to enable completion for Bash. I can just copy this one. If I want to make it permanent, I can just run this. Okay, then now when I write CLC and press the tab, hit twice, I see the commands which are available. For example, let's see the map commands. So these are the map commands I can use. Okay. So CLC is like I mentioned, CLC supports scripting. I will talk more about it, but in order to show the SQL feature, I will just go to our homepage, and we have two directories here on your repository. The examples folder contains some examples to get you started. For example, for SQL, we have this dessert SQL that you can directly run with CLC. So either you can copy it, save it somewhere on your computer and run CLC script with it, or I can directly use it as an HTTP resource. So I will just copy this one, CLC script, and then I paste the URL for it. Okay, CLC asks me which configuration is. I will use the local one. Okay, so I can also it ran okay, but what if I want to see what this script contained, what it ran, what CLC ran? I can use the echo flag. Okay, choose local, and it shows the script together with the line numbers. Okay, like I said, command line, one of the advantages of command line tools is it's very easy to get output and pipe it to another command. So for this one, let's, for example, get the results run in a SQL query. This time I will directly use the local configuration, select all from desserts. So I get this nice table output. What if I want to pipe it to a tool like VisitData? I cannot directly pipe it because there are lots of unnecessary output here. But I can just use the Q flag to get rid of them, and I can also change the output type from table to, for example, JSON. As you see, we also support CSV, and we support delimited output for feeding to commands. I'll go with JSON for this one, and I will pipe it to this data. Okay, so of course I need to make sure that this data understands the JSON format. Okay, so like I can do lots of things about it. Okay, let's see what other commands we have. As you see, we support a few Hazelcast data structures, and we have other commands like demo command. Demo, let's get the help for demo. So this demo command is nice because it enables you to generate some data. For example, let's use generate data command. Demo generate data, and let's get the help for it. So it reads the Wikipedia event stream, and you can preview what's in there, or you can redirect its output to a map. It's a very nice way of creating some data to try it. So let's do Wikipedia event stream, and let's write preview. Okay. Like these are some of data from the stream. If I want to save it, I can save it to a map. For example, let's say events, and this time I will use the ES flag, so CLC won't ask me about whether to save it. Yes, map. Okay. Okay, it will keep on creating these events, and it created this mapping, so I can run SQL queries against it. Okay, it generated for 400 events. Yes, it's the events map. So until now, I've shown you the command line mode. We call this the non-interactive mode, and we also have an interactive mode, a CIC shell. So I can activate the shell by not giving it any commands. So okay, this is the CLC shell, and it will for all commands it will use this local configuration. So I can get help here. It supports a few commands, and I can get more help with the /help command. So as you see, it's the same help we've seen before, but CLC commands needs to be prefixed with a backslash in the shell mode. But I can run SQL queries as they are. So let me run object list again. You see, so I can also use a DM shortcut, which shows what mappings are there. For example, let's see some of the events. Yeah, as you see, these are the events. I can also check what columns are there. For example, let me just get this key from these key column from these events. Yes, these are the keys. Okay. Now let's continue with something else. CLC supports scaffolding projects, as I mentioned before. So for this one, I will create a Jupyter Notebook project, and I will use the project creator. But first, let's see what templates do we have. These are the templates we support. So let's create a Jupyter Notebook one. Project create. Okay. So it created the project. We need to, so this project requires some requirements, Python requirements to be downloaded. Because of that, I will use a pre-created. I will run a pre-created sample, but I can check what's in the README. So this README guides you about the steps you had to follow. So I've done that, and my notebook is running. It's running here. Okay, this is the notebook CLC created for us. I just double click on it, and it loaded my notebook. Let me make it bigger. Okay, so this is the notebook. It has some Python code in it. I can run them. Okay, connected to the cluster. Create the cursor. Okay, create the mapping. As you see, this is Hazelcast SQL, and we are using DB API interface of our Python client. Okay, I added some sample data, and I ran a query here. Now, this block here creates a pandas data frame. Okay, here is our data frame, and let's plot it. Okay, this is the Jupyter notebook. You can also easily try it yourself. This command. As you know, we also have a very nice way of creating data pipelines using the JET component. Let's create this time a JET project. Yes, I'll use the Java Gradle JET sample for this one. Okay. Likewise, I created this one before. Here is it, and I've already opened it in IntelliJ. So this is the created project. Again, it tells what's the next step. Let's see. This is generated code that creates a pipeline. So I need to run make. Okay, it created this jar file. Then I can just submit it, and it will start running in my cluster. I use a job submit command. I give it a name, and I use the wait flag in order to make sure that the job is job submission completed successfully. Okay, need to select my configuration. Okay, it starts right away. I can list the jobs here. Oops. Yes, it's running. So let me check what object it created. So it's my map. I can list the entries. Yes, it creates these entries. And then I can just cancel this job, stop it. Okay. I have no more jobs. So the next project I want to create is the compact serialization support. As you know, compact serialization is a very efficient serialization method created at Hazelcast. So this time, let's use the compact serialization starter project. Okay. Again, I've created it before. And let me open this project. So CLC supports creating these compact serializers from schemas. A sample schema is this one. It's a school schema, and you are able to nest schemas. So if I click on main, it gives some errors because these serializers aren't created. I can check the create serializers script in this project to see how the serializers are generated. Now I will run it directly in order to show you how the serializers is created using CLC. So our command is CLC serializer generate. So I want to create Java serializers and using this schema. This, as you see, this schema refers to other schemas, so they will also be created. So let's run it. Okay. Well, after running it, it shows some useful information about how to use the newly created serializers. But our sample project already has them, so you don't need to update it. Let's run it. Okay, it ran fine. Since CLC is a command line tool, it's very easy to integrate it into these IDEs. IntelliJ supports a feature called external tools. You can add CLC as an external tool, for example, to create a compact serialization generator. I clicked on settings, external tools, and then I clicked add, and I've added this tool. So this is the same command I ran before, but instead of the output directory and template path, I use these placeholders. With that change, I can directly right-click on one of the schemas and just run this serialization generator, and that also creates this serializers. The last thing I want to talk about is support for advanced scripts. So advanced scripts are a recent addition to CLC. Previously, we supported very simple scripting. Basically, you would just write some interactive mode commands in a file, or SQL commands in a file, like I shown you the desert SQL, or like this one, and you would run with CLC. But with advanced script, we now have a much powerful way of creating scripts using a Python-like syntax. So I will show you this map copy script now first. As you see, it's very similar to Python. We added some other commands to it to make it easier to use, and most CLC commands has or will have these extra functions. What this script does is it gets two parameters from the command line, the source map and the destination map, and it copies the source map to the destination map. So I've shown you the entry set command before, and this is how you would use in an advanced script. So when you run map entry set with the name of a map, it returns a list of key value pairs. Then you can use the map set function to set them in another map. So basically copying one map to the other. So let's run it. Okay, so this map copy is in fact in my scripts directory. So the scripts directory is a special place. I will talk about it, but now let me copy it here and run it directly. Maybe let me also check the list of. Maybe, so I want to copy desserts map to desserts too. Okay. It copied 53 entries. So like I said, the scripts directory, which is in CLC home scripts, is a special place. So if there are scripts in your scripts directory, then you don't need to specify its full length. So instead of running this, and for example, here, let me go to arbitrary directory. I can write the name of the script I want to run and directly run it instead of the full path. And it's there's two. Yes. So another script I can show is the serialized map serialization report. You can check it out in our home repository. So there is a folder called scripts. If you click it there, we have two scripts there. Let's check the serialization report. Basically, this script gets some entry from your map and shows its type. I already copied it here, so I will run it. So it shows the key and value types for all of my maps. Yes, I think these are the topics I want to discuss in this session. Let me remind you our homepage. It's GitHub.com, Hazelcast command line client, and please join our Slack, and please let us know about any of your feedbacks. And thank you for listening. You're muted.
I was just saying this is really impressive work, and I wanted to ask: is there something that CLC can't do because it seems like you can literally do everything. You can connect it to IDE, you can connect it to Jupyter Notebook, you can run SQL. So this is really nice. So I've got a couple of questions here. So first question is like always comes into discussion and comparison. Can you just give us some pointers comparing CLC to CLI, the command line for the Hazelcast?
So we had several command line tools for Hazelcast. One of them is HZCLI. When you download the Hazelcast distribution, it's also included in the distribution. But HZCLI was written in Java. So as you know, Java programs start a bit slower. And CLC is a native binary, so it starts right away. And also it consumes just little memory. It's very frugal. And you don't need the Java runtime to run it. It runs native on Linux, macOS, and Windows, and it runs on AMD ARM. So
Great.
that's
yeah. And the SQL demo you showed, is that a standard SQL or is it different? Can you just compare it to Hazelcast SQL interface and functionality?
so. This Hazelcast, we run as Hazelcast SQL with CLC, but it also has a few commands that make it easier to use SQL, like listing these mappings, listing the columns in those mappings, etc. And I think being able to put them in a script and run them is very useful. I didn't show the alias feature in this session, but it is also possible to create aliases, so it's much easier to run them. And also advanced scripts support SQL too, so you can use them very easily in your advanced scripts.
Great. And I think this is like two questions in one. So what are the future plans for the CLC, and are you accepting community requests or features, and how they can request these features?
So starting with the second question, currently CLC is closed source. We won't be able to accept any source contributions, but you can always reach out us in our Slack channel, community Slack channel, or if you find any issues or if you have any feature requests, you can write them in the issues section of our GitHub repository. About feature plans, we currently have a Visual Studio Code extension. We are working on this extension, and I can tell now that it will be a wonderful tool. Maybe in another session I can talk more about it. But it uses CLC to do some of its features, and hopefully we will have more IDE integrations coming in the future.
Yeah, that's great. I can't tell you how much it will save time basically to create projects from scratch, creating jet jobs, also connecting to Jupyter. So I know that so many data scientists and machine learning engineers will try these features. So thanks so much for your time and for shedding some lights on our CLC, and good to have you here on this session. And hopefully for anyone watching us live now or recorded session, you can reach out to UJ and the CLC team on our community Slack. So feel free to provide your feedback as well as your request. And with that being said, I look forward for the next session. Thanks, UJ. Thank you.